Welcome to the Hidden Palace with Skyblaze.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Skyblaze, and this is the Hidden Palace here on Radio Sega. So, today we are going to be talking a little about a software developer and publisher called Victor Interactive Software. One thing I am going to bring up before any of the music breaks is that I've only managed to find the music for one game in this list. And even then, they were no names or anything, it was just track numbers. Even Enya Haman, our demon ruler of the Radio Sega playlist, was completely blindsided by this. Couldn't find anything. So, it's if Enya's defeated, it's gonna be pretty obscure. So please enjoy. So I've had to be a bit creative with some of the music breaks. Using a kind of a theme or a vibe or a genre rather than the actual tracks from the game in question. But anyway, this company has made a small range of games, from sports games to RPGs, and they published a disc called Tomb Raider Taikenban Hibaihin, I think, also known as Tomb Raider Trial Version. Which gives you a 5-minute demo of one of the early stages of the original Tomb Raider. It's in answer to the phrase Enya's defeated. This might not be the show for me. I mean, I couldn't find anything either, Enya, so don't worry about it. But, you know, it's gotta be pretty obscure if you couldn't find anything for it. Where was I? Right, so to begin, let's talk a little bit about who Victor Interactive Software actually are. Originally, they were the video game division of Victor Entertainment, and this group merged with a company called Pack-In Video in October 1996 in order to form Victor Interactive Software. While they were now one entity, this was only in the publishing side, as the two groups would develop games separately and trade under their own brands, this being Pack-In Soft and Victorsoft respectively. Now with that brief bit of history out of the way, what games did Victor Interactive Software actually produce? Well, our first game for tonight is Steep Slope Sliders, and this is a snowboarding game which released on the Saturn in late 1997. And a release also on the Sega Total Video arcade board the following year. This snowboarding game sees you sliding down a steep slope, which is usually the case when you're snowboarding, and hence the name. Also scoring points through successfully performing tricks and trying to reach the bottom in as fast a time as possible. On starting the game, you will have access to only two choices. That will be start and options. And you're saying, I do have a track record for picking obscure games. Yes, I do. Because I find, like, the more obscure things really interesting, I tend to make a kind of rod for my own back by just, like, picking really obscure things to talk about, and then the music doesn't exist. It is a myth. It doesn't happen. It's, yeah. I do this to myself. This is a fate brought upon myself. No one should feel sympathy for me. But yeah, I think we'll have a bit of music now. So, since they produced the Tomb Raider trial version, we'll have something from Tomb Raider. So I think we'll have the Tomb Raider theme, because it's great. And then our first track from Steep Slope Sliders. I don't know what it's called. I've got it listed as track number 5. So I hope you enjoy that. And I'll speak to you after this music break.
Rexy here. While I'm not diving into the wonderful world of Sega remixes, I like to look up and study lots of things about the world around us. That's why I'm glad to hear The Hidden Palace, hosted by Skyblaze, right here on Radio Sega.
And we are back, and that was Steep Slope Sliders, track number 5, and before that we had the Tomb Raider theme from Tomb Raider, oddly enough. So yeah, I mentioned that on starting the game you would have 2 choices. You had Start and Options. Here saying Start will take you to a screen where you can select your slope, of which there are 7. Although there isn't strictly a slope that is in fact a half pipe, like you'd find in a skateboarding park. That's weird. You're snowboarding and you're on a half pipe? Is that a thing? Can you have a like artificial slope half pipe thing? That I don't know. I mean, winter sports are not my thing because I prefer to be in the sun, but that seems a bit weird. But you know, it's video game logic, I guess. But yeah, once you have picked your slope and your border, you are then taken to your chosen slope. As I explained, this game has you performing tricks and racing to the bottom in the fastest time possible. And once you have reached the bottom, you then get to see a replay of your descent, and an option to save this run as a ghost run, which you can then race against if you choose to play that slope again. One cool thing that you can do is hidden away in the options section of the game. If you've recorded one of your sessions, you can load it up and edit this replay to make it look as cinematic as possible. At least on the Saturn. Obviously the arcade version doesn't really have this option. So you can change the camera views, angles, the distance from the border, and even add some special effects to the shots. Which is actually a pretty cool feature for something of that kind of age bracket. The only other game I can think of of that kind of era that did something like that was the original Gran Turismo. So it's, if you can, why do you live in the UK? Because I was born here and I can't afford to move anywhere hotter. Believe me, if I had the money and the capability, I would be sorely tempted to go to, like, Spain or Portugal or, you know, Greece. Somewhere that actually doesn't rain constantly. Even I know the sun rightfully hates Britain. It hasn't this week. It's been up to 25 degrees this week. Which is weird for this time of year. I love it. My Greyfall's been melting.
I have.
I was actually really confusing people. On Thursday it was like 26 degrees and I was still wearing one of my velvet shirts. Greyfall comes in, he's like, what? You can't possibly still be cold. It's like, no, I'm quite comfortable as long as I'm wearing this shirt. I don't know. I just...
Your body doesn't work right.
Yes, I know. For a great number of reasons. But I'm a person who's been to Egypt in August, where it was so hot that my mother's nail polish melted. I mean, that was a bit toast even by my standards, but I was alright. And he's saying, ironically, the weather has been very weird here nowadays. Flip-flops between heavy rain and very sunny. Literal flip-flop season. Oh, we get that here sometimes in spring, where it's like, you know, every 10 minutes the gods roll a dice to decide what the weather's going to be.
I think we have had within one day a combination of high winds, rain, snow, sleet, fog, and bright sunshine.
That was like 2 years ago?
I think it was early this year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, there was the thing where we were coming back home from my parents and it was like either bright sunshine or fog.
Either way, you couldn't see.
Either way, you were blind. Because my dad was driving us home. What on earth is that?
Oh.
That's an early Sega one-on bandit, isn't it? That somebody's just posted in?
Sega Royal.
Yeah, you see them, the BBC repair shop, there's a guy who repairs that sort of thing. You see them occasionally. That's pretty interesting. Found in the wild. That's pretty cool, actually. Did you buy it or did you just see it? I'm curious. Right, let's have some more music then, shall we? So, another track from Steep Slope Sliders. We have, this is track 3 this time. And then, because I was running out of music to use, it's like, wait, this is a snowboarding game. There is an obvious candidate. I'm fairly sure that you can guess what it is. This is Radio Sega, after all. But yeah, enjoy this, and I'll come back after this music break.
Sega music, live shows, and the chance to request your favorites. This is RadioSega.net. Sega!
we are back. And that was Digi-E, Sonic 3 Breaking the Ice, from our friends, I believe that's an OC remix. Let me double check. Yes, it is. It's from our friends over at OC Remix. Before that, we had from Steep Slope Sliders, track number 3. That is the last track I actually have from any of the games that I'm covering tonight. So things get wilder from here. So next up we have Oedo Renaissance. Oedo Renaissance? It's probably Oedo Renaissance. Also known as Edo City Renaissance, a city building strategy game which sees you building up Edo, which is what is now known as Tokyo, during the Tenmei period, which was from 1781 till 1789. The game in and of itself is actually an enhanced port of the original game, which was released back in 1995 for NEC's PC 9801 home computer, with the Saturn port releasing 2 years later. You play the role of Tanuma Okitsugu, I think, the historical senior counselor and economic advisor to the shogunate. Well, I'm not going to go into his history. If you play this game yourself, hopefully your actions in the game are better than the ones that he made back in the day. I'm sure you can draw your own conclusions based on that. Your primary action sees you managing the various economic factors of running a city, such as taxes, budgets, and investments, as well as trades and exports. While the original game played in a kind of real-time sandbox fashion, the enhanced Saturn port moved to a more turn-based playstyle. So the original was a bit more like Sin City, the Saturn port was a bit more like Civilization. Very, very broadly, by the way. This allows you month by month to review your options before fully committing to any decision. It's also worth noting that compared to a lot of the technology at the time, raising taxes and, dealing with budgets and all that, pretty standard, but dealing with trades and exports is actually not that common in a city building game of that era. Sim City, SIM. I think our internet's okay, so we shouldn't be breaking up.
No.
Okay. Afraid it might be your connection, Enya. Where was I? So one of the nice things about this game is that as you progress through the months and years, you get to see the city of Edo transform and grow based on your actions and decisions, with various areas becoming more developed and getting more populated as time passes. Enya says I did a page refresh and it seems just fine now. Well, there you go. And it's both saying it's Railroad Tycoon. I mean, not completely dissimilar. I'm gonna loop my talkpad. Right, there we go. Where was I? Oh yeah, the other improvement the Saturn port had, probably due to the increased size of the discs which we used for the game, is a bigger emphasis on the story elements and the addition of specific objectives. And this helps to guide the player far more than the aforementioned sandbox playstyle of the original game. Because in things like SimCity, it's like, you build your city and then... Now what? Your only goal is to kind of make it bigger, so it's nice to actually have goalposts that you can aim towards. Purvis is saying I've learned that Radio Sega, or maybe it's TerraPlay, really doesn't like it when your connection gets too slow. The Radio Sega server is held together by duct tape and dreams, and powered by 2 hedgehogs on a treadmill. And I don't mean like Sonic's type hedgehogs, I mean actual, tiny garden creatures. I exaggerate, but not much. Anyway. None of us actually get paid for any of this, so if we need to upgrade anything and it costs money, it comes out of our pockets. Mostly Vipers, but we try and contribute when we can. The rest of us try and contribute when we can. So let's have some more music. So, in the absence of anything from this game whatsoever, I have gone for a track from Sega Network Tyson Mahjong, MJ5R Evolution, and that is a track called Ido Hana Fubuki. And then from after that, we have from Saturn Bomberman, Samurai World. Listen, it's on the Saturn, and it's about samurai. It's the and it. Shut up. Hope you enjoy it anyway, and I'll be back after this music break. And we are back, and that was Saturn Bomberman Samurai World, and then before that we had from Sega Network Tyson Mahjong 5, MJ5R Evolution, Ido Hanafubuki. And you made a joke about MJ5 Revo, a direct line to Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. Yes, that's the excuse we're using. And then you was like, wait, I was just making a joke, but this is genuinely the song they remixed as Akira's theme in Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Ido Hanafubuki is now Akira the Prototype. Alright, cool. So, our last game for today is Tricolore Crisis, or Crisis, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. This is a Japanese-only turn-based RPG that released on the Dreamcast in the year 2000. This game sees you playing as a trio of girls called Janice, Ranan, and Anemia? Anemea? Anemia can't be right.
I think it's the latter one.
Anemea?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call her Anemea for now. French speakers needed. I did Spanish at school, don't look at me. So they're studying for their exams in an effort to become masters of various magical towers, which have been constructed in order to help human civilization against the mysterious demon race known as Iblis. Ha.
It's no use.
In fairness, that is actually a demonic figure in Islamic myth, so yeah, has a real world inspiration. While there is a lot of dialogue in the beginning, you will soon be introduced to your protagonists as they are forced into a team of 3 in order to take part in wizard exams to determine who the new tower masters will be. While you can only control one girl at a time, you are able to freely switch between them at points, and when you're back in your dormitories, you can review their stats, see what they are thinking, and perform research. Also, while combat encounters will only involve one of the trio, you won't be alone, as each girl can summon an angel spirit in order to help them in the fight. Its purpose is saying Iblis is Lucifer in Islam, essentially. Kinda. There's a little bit more to it, but when you boil it right down, yeah, he's kind of Islamic Satan-ish. So at the start of the game, before your first test, it involves fighting against some of the weaker Iblis demons in a nearby forest. Before going out there though, your instructor does warn you against fighting multiple foes, especially so early on. Which, looking at some playthroughs of the game, I can agree with, because at low level, even 2 enemies at once make your life difficult. As you may expect with you being wizards, or, well, wizards in training. Use of magic is vital for your survival. Each character has a starting spell, with Anemea, for example, using ice magic. When using your spell, you initially spend some time chanting, and then you will be given the option to cast the spell, cancel the spell, or continue chanting, which we think increases the strength of the spell at the cost of your turn, although you can only continue chanting a spell for a limited number of turns on each cast. We had to actually download a ROM of this and use Google Translation software to figure out what's going on, because there really isn't a lot out there on it. So, yeah. Let's have some more music. Oh, bugger, I forgot to loop my talkbed. But yeah, here we have a track from Chain Chronicle 10th Anniversary, March of the Braves, and then after that, I failed to resist the urge to put a track from Phantasy Star Online 2 on here. Enjoy.
me free and let me go do my best. Imagination for truth. Yes, I know I am on this blue planet. Realization for truth. Wake me up and let me know. Be with you. Imagination for dreams. Yes, I know you are on the same I am lost and time found, walking in the darkness, looking for a star every night. Who are you and who am I?
And we are back, and that was Phantasy Star Online Realization: The Earth Battle. And before that we had from Chain Chronicle 10th Anniversary album, March of the Braves. To explain, before the show started, I was mentioning what I posted about what I was covering, and Enya said that they had today found out about a 2D artist at Sega who used to work for Victor Interactive Software, and that person at Sega worked on Chain Chronicle and Phantasy Star Online too. So that was my very twisty path. They used to work at Victor Interactive, and they also worked at Sega, and we have the soundtracks for Chain Chronicle and Phantasy Star Online too. So, and plus I really like Realization from Phantasy Star Online too. It's a great track. So that was my excuse. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention about Tricolore Crisis. There was a bonus disc which is included in one version of the game, which is called Tricolore Crisis Art Palette, a special promotional disc that let you look at character art and concept sketches of the game. And you're also able to choose from a small list of music to have play in the background while you look through the gallery, which is pretty nice. So, into the chiptune corner now then. So, chiptune artist 32 Megabit is also known as Dustin Dell. He has been experimenting with using trackers and making music for almost 20 years now, and his latest album was inspired by the sounds of the Sega Mega Drive, the Konami SCC chip, and the PC Engine, along with a hefty dose of 90s EDM. If you would like to check out some more of his work, he does have a YouTube channel where he posts music he has made using actual Mega Drive hardware. A lot of chiptune artists, will use Game Boys and the SID chip from the Commodore 64. It's not that often you find them using Mega Drive hardware. He does insist on calling it a Genesis, but we'll forgive him for that. So I'm going to post that link in the Discord. And also he has a Bandcamp, which I will also post in the Discord. There we go. And I'm going to play one of the tracks from his new album, which is called Small Wave. And it is, I think it's pretty good. It's quite chill. The music from the Small Wave album is quite nice and chill. But I think you'll like it. So this is 32 Megabit Houndstooth. Have a listen. Let me know what you think. And I'll be back after this music break to close out the show. And we are back, and that was 32 megabit Houndstooth. Growth was saying it's giving off 80s synth meets Streets of Rage vibes. I don't think that's entirely inaccurate. I think it's quite a nice album. Give it a listen if you like. If you do appreciate his stuff, pay him money on Bandcamp. This is how small artists, survive. So I encourage you to do that. So thank you everybody who's tuned in today. I believe Gavi has fixed his busted up foot, so we should have SNS up next. We also have Rex's Sega Mixer Drive tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. As always, the full schedule is available on radiosega.net. If you have any chiptune artists to recommend or a topic that you want me to cover on The Hidden Palace, please get in touch. I'm available on Discord, where I'm Skyblaze42 on Discord, and on Blue Sky I am blazingskies.bsky.social. I'm pretty easy to find. Or you can contact me via the official Radio Sega social media channels. One other thing I'm going to mention, it's mine and Greyfall's wedding anniversary. Tomorrow, in fact. Yes, we did get married on the 4th of May. Yes, we are that nerdy. I have decided that I was looking through things that have anniversary in the name, and I spotted the Blind Spot 2 30th anniversary. Yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna play a track from that for my last track. But so you get a Blind Spot track to go out on. But until then, I've been Skyblaze, and this has been The Hidden Palace on Radio Sega. I hope everybody has a good night, and please take care.
Enjoyed the show? Check out the full Radio Sega live schedule at radiose.ga/shows. Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7.